What's up, fellas? Happy Sunday. Chuck Silver and Smitty here, bring you the strategy for DraftKings and FanDuel. Baseball season, we got what NCAA Final Four going on right now. I guess it starts in 5 minutes. Little six gamer on DraftKings, 7 games I think on FanDuel. They added in the Portland Knicks game. I hate that they do that differently, but that does lock earlier. So FanDuel starts in an hour, DraftKings in 2. Smitty, how we doing today, man? Oh, did I freeze already, dude? Can you hear me? I think we cut out.
Oh, my bad. Doing pretty good. Excited to have baseball back, and now just continuing the grind of basketball until the playoffs come.
Yeah, and so I had I don't know. I thought I won the $4 yesterday, but then there was a stat correction like 3 hours after the Lakers game ended. Luca got a steal at the end of the second quarter that was credited to Austin Reeves. First of all, that's kind of hilarious. But I feel like I lost when I woke up today because I had half the money that I was expecting to, but still got second into $4. So that was cool. Uh, who hurt us yesterday? Josh Giddey. It's unfortunate, man. Field finally played him 50%. Model was super on him. SGA got like a little bit more blowout run than I would have liked, but he got there. He didn't hurt us. I think we did pretty well. Just other than the top plays busting the last couple of days, everything else is going great. So we do have Miles Bridges again on the slate today, and I am going back to him. So we'll see. We'll see how much Smitty is into that. Jose out of the gates. What small forwards are considered priorities? Let's take a look. Let's do going to keep this on FanDuel, man. We are going to talk about Portland Knicks last because we're waiting on Anthony Simons news and kind of just changes the whole thing. So it'll be just DraftKings for the first part. But small forward, Smitty, did you have any in mind early?
Um, no, I think right now I'm really not getting to someone like as a priority. Just kind of have a lot of different small forwards mixed in.
Yeah, it's well, my priorities if you're on FanDuel specifically are these two guys on the Knicks, OG and McHale. Josh Hart is still good, but these two are the two guys that stand out to me. Sort by FanDuel value here. Yeah, OG, McHale, Kyle Kuzma's up here, small forward on both sites. Daquan Jeffries, I'm actually very interested in him. I'm happy to see that the model really likes him today. 3,900, 2 and 1% owned. This is a value guy that we're going to take shots on. I mean, the other guys here, I don't think anyone here is bad. So model looks pretty good today. I'll sort by DK value. I mean, it's pretty similar. I do love those Spurs guys too. Spurs and the Knicks, I think, are going to be my priorities. Unicorn, Heath, Beantown, Ben Jeezy, Rear Finch, Landon, Timmy over White, Timmy and White over Giddy last night. You took it down, dude. Good stuff, Landon. Congrats on that one, man. Yeah, that Kobe White over Giddy pivot was pretty good. I don't even think Kobe White had that good of a game, but just the fact that Giddy was that bad, and then yeah, Timmy. I don't understand how he came in lower than we had him projected. He ended up being like 30% owned. I mean, I should have just pushed the lock button on him, but he ended up being awesome. Bam hurt you? Yeah, Bam sucked. Tyler Harrow was in my second place lineup, so it was a Harrow day over Bam. But they did do something weird with that starting lineup. Pele Larson came in, and I talked about late swap was super valuable yesterday, and it applies today too. Sochan and Pele Larson were the two late swap darlings, and they both went off. Stat correction knocked you out of the money. Like, it's so annoying. It's the worst thing. Just like, it's worse than losing. Timmy did okay. He put up like 30 fantasy points at min price on FanDuel. I mean, if you tell me that before the slate, he's a lock. If you tell me he puts up 24 at min price on FanDuel, he's a lock. And so, yeah, hopefully they get him in the DK slate and price him appropriately at least. Giddy, you played 80%. Yeah, I think he was my highest exposed on one of the sites. It's unfortunate, but let's go ahead and just jump in today. Enough rambling. Golden State at Spurs. We'll start with this first game, Golden State. Smitty, who are you looking at here from the Warriors?
Oh man, let me pull it up. I didn't know if we were talking about the FanDuel game.
No, I wanted to wait until we get the. We should get the Anthony Simons news before the stream ends.
Okay, you said for the Spurs.
Yeah, let's do Golden State Spurs first.
All right. Yeah. For the Spurs side, I'm getting to quite a bit of Sohan. I think he looks pretty solid here. Harrison Barnes is a top DK value. I don't hate him as a GPP play. Kind of a pivot off some of the other chalk on the slate. And then I have a few percent of Chris Paul, Keldon Johnson. I still don't hate Castle at his 7K price on DraftKings. I think I'm still fine getting there, but um, I don't know. It seems like a pretty bad spot, but I think Sohan is the main priority.
Yeah, assuming he gets that start again, we're just gonna give him the full run of minutes. We have no reason to think that he's gonna start and play short. He really stands out in the model. Harrison Barnes, we haven't projected for 25 minutes. I don't even think he got to 25 minutes yesterday, but I'm almost certain the other sites haven't projected for more minutes. But he does stand out here, projected for 3% ownership. I don't understand why he still comes in this low owned every day. All the Spurs guys, really, though, they're all kind of low owned, but Barnes in particular is a guy that the model really wants to get to. I mean, 24, 27, 23 plays 20 plus minutes every game. And, these are mostly not great, but doesn't take much. And then Keldon, I think he's just under owned every day, 12 and 8%. Model likes him enough. Chris Paul played huge minutes yesterday, only projected for 27 today, but he's down to 4,400. And then Vassell looks good too. They did have Charles Bassey probable today. Is that affecting anything in your rotations?
No, not really.
Yeah, I think like he probably will play a few minutes, but it probably just takes away from like Mamu or I mean, it could end up taking away from Sochan maybe if he's playing poorly. But this is a matchup that I would think Sochan would be a good candidate to start in against Golden State.
Yeah.
From the other side of this game, the main guy I'm actually interested in here is Jimmy Butler. I kind of think he's underprojected around the industry. We have him for this was higher earlier. Yeah, I still want to give him maybe an extra minute on top of this. I think this is a really good game to target him. Model doesn't like him though, poor value. So 10% only on DK, 22% on FanDuel seems fine. I'm just over those ownerships there. Were you looking at Jimmy pretty hard today?
Yeah, I think he looks pretty good. On FanDuel, he looks better. I mean, he's $600 cheaper, but even on DraftKings, I think I'm fine getting there.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a 10.0 OF index despite his poor value ratings. And I don't know. I just think it's a good spot for him. Steph is probable. We're expecting him to play. What about Draymond Pods or Jonathan Kaminga?
I have like a few percent of each, but no one really seems like a priority. I'm getting the most of Steph from this team, but it's not that much.
Yeah, I have most of Steph as well on DraftKings, 15%, and then 14% Jimmy. So I guess it's basically the same. But yeah, no one stands out. Quentin Post top value here, but still not super strong. 3,800 at 0% though. Adam Bona is the top play on the model today, and he was actually kind of low owned earlier. I'll see what he is in a minute, but Quentin Post could be a possible pivot, or you could even play him in the same lineup.
Yeah.
There's someone else here. Is there someone else I was supposed to mention? Oh, FanDuel value. Moses Moody's okay at 4,500, 1% owned. I don't mind if he shows up in some lineups. Other than that, everyone's just okay. These guys are all playable for sure. We'll go to the next game, Detroit at Minnesota. I guess I didn't see an update. Was Cade, is he ruled out officially? He's been doubtful since yesterday, so we're just going to assume he's not playing. Dennis Schroeder and Tobias are probable. We saw Schroeder play 39 minutes last game. We haven't projected for 31 today, already projected as elite value. Let's start with him. What do you want to do with Dennis Schroeder?
I'd like to just come in around the field. He's all right. Probably going to get the minutes, but I don't know what he's going to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if he's playing well, he'll stay on the court. If he's not playing well, he has potential to lose minutes. But I kind of think he's underprojected around the industry, so I'm pretty interested in getting over the field on Dennis Schroeder today. We saw, I have this rotation pulled up. He did share the court with Marcus Sasser for a few minutes last game. Dennis Schroeder, like I said, played 39. Sasser only got 19, so I guess they were on the court for 10 minutes together. But Sasser didn't play great. Maybe if Schroeder was playing less well or Sasser played better, they could have ran the court more. But Sir Thompson played 32 minutes in that game as well. Tobias was out. I mean, Malik Beasley played 36, but assuming Malik Beasley comes off the bench today with Tobias back, I mean, minutes were pretty high last game, so all their stats are probably slightly inflated. But I mean, overall, what was your interest in getting here?
Yeah, I still think it's a decent spot, but we're kind of seeing them priced up now. I think Tobias is pretty interesting. And then I'll have a little bit of a SAR. I think he's pretty good. And then as a value, I'm pretty interested in getting to some Sasser as a pivot to some Schroeder. But overall, I mean, no priorities. I think Beasley's also a pretty decent GPP play.
Yeah, off the bench, right, for Beasley.
Yeah, yeah.
So with Sasser, the model thinks he's terrible, right? We only have him projected for 15 minutes, but he is projected for 0% ownership. And I mean, I've been saying it, just if you see a reason to play a guy, go beyond the model and just do it. And let's say you want to give Sasser like 22 and a half minutes just to make it easy, an increase of 50%. Just add 50% to his DK value. Now it's 12, 50% to his FanDuel value. Like, still not great, but uh, it's just 0%. I don't think is correct. We want to be getting to this pivot a little bit more. And it's not like Schroeder is highly owned either. You could just skip playing both of them if you want.
Yep.
And then center, I'm getting to a little bit of Duran. I guess I'm interested as a GPP play. Kind of a tough matchup on the other side, but did you like him more than the model?
Not really. I have a few percent, but it's not a great matchup or anything. So I don't really see him as a priority. Just someone you can mix in.
And then Tobias is under 10% ownership on both sides, 6,200 on DK, showing up as elite value, borderline elite value on FanDuel as well. I think it's good to get over Tobias today. Like, I was kind of surprised Asor Thompson wasn't projected for more ownership, but I guess the field is sharp enough to know that Tobias was out last game. But I really think it's good to get over the field on Asor too, not just Tobias.
Yeah, I actually like Tobias. I think he's too cheap. No Cade. It's
Mm-hmm.
he can kind of run the show somewhat. He does a little bit of everything, and it's projected to be a somewhat competitive game. So pretty interested.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 7.5 point spread, 226 and a half total. I think the way I'm approaching it right now is that Dennis Schroeder and a few shots on Tobias. We're not going crazy on him. He's pretty low owned, but just hope that those two can do most of the work keeping him in it.
Yeah.
Other side of this game, Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, man. This guy's off and on. He's up to 9,900 on DK, 9,500 on FanDuel, double digit ownership. I'm around the field on him. Are you the same?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually exactly with the 14% that we have.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I think I am too on DK. I'm a little bit over the field on FanDuel, actually, on Anthony Edwards, but I don't mind it. Maybe that changes by the time the slate starts. Who else were you looking at here?
I'm getting to a little bit of Mike Conley. I think at 6% ownership, I don't hate taking some shots there. Um, Pretty good value play. And then that's pretty much it. Everyone else I just kind of have sprinkled in. Like I don't mind getting to Gobert or a little bit of Julius Randle, but I don't see anyone as a priority.
Yeah, Mike Conley, man, really strong play going by the model. Even over on FanDuel, he's elite as well. 6% and 1% projected ownership. What were his minutes last game? Mike Conley, because as far as I can see, everyone's healthy. I guess Terrence Shannon's questionable, but he doesn't really play anyway. Mike Conley played 30 minutes. What did we have him projected for? 25. It's probably a fair projection, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's 3,400, 6% owned. I think we just have to play him. Yep. I'll be well over the field on DraftKings, I guess. Over on FanDuel, looks like I'll be over on Mike Conley too. And then, were you getting any decent exposure to anyone else here?
No, not really.
Let's go to the next game, Charlotte at the Pelicans. We'll start with Charlotte. Still no LaMelo Ball. Model still hates Miles Bridges, and we haven't projected for 35 minutes. It's kind of high, and he's still not showing up as like he's the seventh points per dollar play on his own team. Over on FanDuel, he's the sixth, and so I'll still be getting to him a little bit more over on FanDuel at the 8,400 price. He's 9K on DK. I wish he was lower owned because I'm willing to go right back to him, even though the model says not to. And I said just listen to the model last time. But what do you think about Miles Bridges as a GPP play without LaMelo?
Yeah, I'm having to bump him quite a bit to get over the field on him, but I do think he's a pretty solid play. It's definitely going against the motto a little bit, but still, I think 9K on a short slate, I think he's fine.
He shot 4 for 20, dude. 1 for 9 from three. I'm pretty sure three of these shots came in the last like 12 seconds too, and he just bricked all of them to try to give us a few extra points. It's tough. He hasn't had a good game in a couple of weeks, but remember, LaMelo was in for most of these games here. I mentioned last time his usage is right around 30% with LaMelo off the court. It's a pretty large increase from when LaMelo's on the court, and so I'm going to take shots, probably not as extreme as I did last time because that just hurt my whole day. But who else on the Hornets should we be really interested going by the model?
Yeah, I think the centers for sure. Nurkic and Diabate, they're both pretty solid here. This is a good matchup for bigs, and I mean, if you expect them to play the bulk of the center minutes, one of them is probably going to get there. My preference is Nurk just because he's better fantasy point per minute. So if he runs into more minutes, he could do a lot more. But I'm still fine with Diabate too. I think he's a really good play.
Yeah, what do you want to do about rules? Are you comfortable playing both of them in the same lineup?
I was actually thinking about that. I think they're fine just because they're so cheap. Like, I don't know. It's either like that or you play Nurkic and then you're digging for like Mike Conley or something. Like, why not just play a center that's going to play the same amount of minutes? So I think they're fine together.
I agree. Yeah, they're both super cheap, and so they share the court sometimes when Mark Williams starts. I don't know that they'll share the court tonight. Maybe they just split minutes, but and Saloon is in tonight too. I guess he's questionable. Did you see an update on him at all?
No, I haven't.
He's showing up really good value today, also under 10% ownership. I mentioned him at like the tail end of the show last time. He ended up going off. And so I think we can catch him again at low ownership at this 3,300 on DraftKings, even the 4,200 on FanDuel. I'll take shots at 2%. Who else was out here? Seth Curry's out today. Josh Green's out today. And I mean, Mark Williams is out today. That's the big one, obviously. But I guess Josh Okogie's probable. That could cut into minutes. Were you looking at how he's going to affect the rotation?
Um, yeah, I have um, a little concern there, but I still think it's fine.
Yeah, if I get there a few percent, I'm not going to mind it. But the model does like Daquan Jeffries. The model really likes Nick Smith. I personally don't. This 20% just will never make sense to me. But what do you think about that?
Yeah. No, not a fan. I'll be underweight.
I have like 2% on both sides right now, and I'm pretty happy if it stays that way.
Yeah.
KJ Simpson, you think gets the start at point?
Yeah, he should. I'm a few percent above the field right now. I think he's pretty solid.
I'm pretty far over the field. Why is the model so low on him today?
I don't know.
Model really doesn't. I didn't notice how low he was. Is he KJ? His name.
29 minutes.
It's weird. Like he played 25. 29 actually might be a kind of a high projection. I mean, this was a close game. I don't know. We jamming. I was like I said, I was pretty far over the field, but I'm not sure if I
Yeah,
want to keep that
I have 32% right now.
on DK.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I still have more than that. I don't know. I'm gonna dock him a couple minutes because I think that's wrong. I'm just gonna hope the model's wrong or right about KJ and wrong about Miles because I still want to get to some Miles Bridges, but like I said, I'm not jamming him in like I did the other day. Yeah. Let's go to the Pelicans. We got news that Jordan Hawkins is out and everyone else is still out today. So I saw a question: do we think Bruce Brown's going to start again?
Yeah, he should.
He started last game and he played pretty big minutes. I don't see why he wouldn't start. 32 minutes, yeah, at 4,800. I mean, it's kind of a flip a coin what we're going to get from Bruce Brown on any given day, but the model likes him. He is elite value on both sides, 47, 4,900 at these ownerships. I think it's okay. I'd rather see Bruce Brown at lower ownership, but I don't hate it. It does look like I'll be slightly under the field though.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, I'm like right with the field right now.
And then what about Jose Alvarado and Alfred Payton?
Yeah, I'm getting to a lot of Jose Alvarado right now. I have, yeah, I have quite a bit more than the field does. And then, who'd you say, Alfred Payton? I
Alfred
think,
Alvarado, yeah.
yeah, top DK value. I think he's okay. I'm a few percent above the field. Nothing crazy, but I think he's all right.
I'm over on both of them. I am gonna put a rule. I didn't have it earlier. I want max one in a lineup. I don't know if they share the court. I guess I could check, but it just doesn't seem like two guys you want in the same lineup. I know they're both kind of cheap, but I'd rather just have one or the other and hit on someone else.
Yeah.
Kelly Olynyk down to 11% ownership. Model is kind of telling us we can. I mean, he's fine in the model. 12.7 is fine. 13.5 is fine at the price around 6K. What do you think? 20% on FanDuel?
Seems aggressive. I have 14% on DraftKings. I wouldn't mind if that came down a little, which it probably will before lock. I think he's okay to get to, but I mean, that power forward eligibility helps a lot.
Yeah, I guess I barely got there on DraftKings, but FanDuel, he's a decent part of my exposures and right around 20%, which makes sense. So I'm okay with that. And then Aves Missy showing up as a strong value again. I've been kind of hesitant to play him aggressively, but 16 and 9% ownership today, at least on DK, the 4,700 price is pretty easy to work with. Center's not super strong, and so I don't mind getting there. I'm right with the field on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at too. I have 17% of him, so I think he looks pretty solid.
And then was there something with Jeremiah Robinson Earl or no?
Now, there is one other guy you haven't mentioned that I'm kind of interested in.
Is it Matko or Reeves?
Actually, both. I think they're both definitely GPP plays. I like Reeves quite a bit.
Mhm.
No Hawkins, they're just going to need someone to score. So, pretty interested in Reeves. He's a good shooter. And then Makovich, anytime he's on the floor, he's so productive fantasy wise. So, it's just minutes, which in GPPs, that's what you're looking for is like the variance of these players. So, Makovich makes for a really solid GPP play as well.
I'm always willing to get over the field on Makovich. I'm happy you mentioned that. Yeah, just especially if you're not as into Kelly Olynyk on either of the sites, then Matko's probably a good pivot. We've seen a few games now that Matko's not really going to cut into Kelly's minutes too much, but it's still possible. And then actually, Keon Brooks is down here. He does have double digit DK value. It's not awesome because he's only 3,100, but he's 1% owned. And I actually don't mind taking shots on him. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't mind that either. If I gave him like another minute or two, he'd probably creep into my exposures.
Oh, I have a decent chunk. I have like 6-7% right now, which is probably a lot of Keon Brooks, but I'm okay with it. See if we have any questions in the chat. Is the Bucks game next? Yeah, the Bucks game's next, so we'll get to that one, Landon. Yeah, we think Bruce Brown is going to start. Elf 10-day contract revenge game. Was this the last team that gave him a deed? He should be thanking them. It shouldn't be revenge. They gave him an opportunity to get back into the NBA.
Yep.
And Top Cat at FanDuel. I'll sort by FanDuel ownership real quick. Giannis, Alvarado, Bridges, Jared Butler, Nurk, Kenneth Simpson, Bruce Brown. Probably okay playing all those guys in cash, right? Except for KJ, they're all model approved. I guess Miles
Yeah.
Bridges isn't, but Miles Bridges is so high owned, I don't think you can fade him in cash no matter what you think. AJ Green is out for the Bucks. Nice. Smitty, who are you looking at here in Milwaukee?
Let's see. Mainly just Giannis. I have a ton of Giannis. I think Kuzma looks okay. Let me see. But yeah, it's mainly Giannis and Kuzma for me. Don't mind mixing in like Gary Trent, Ryan Rollins, and then Brooke Lopez is probably underowned as well. This is a really good matchup for him. So pretty interested in getting to over the field on Brooke Lopez.
Aren't you sick of Giannis burning us when he's 70% owned?
Yeah,
It's really annoying. It's like I told myself last time, man, we got to chill on Giannis, but then he comes in today. He's such a good play, and we have really good cheap value. It's not hard to fit him. We've seen the last few slates. We don't need these guys to go off for 60 plus necessarily to be in the winning lineup. We just need raw points right now. And so if Giannis does what he's been doing, that's fine. If he goes for a ceiling, then you're going to have him. The problem is the whole field is playing him today. He's a top play on the model, 14.9 OF index. Who's even like no one else is even in the same category as him. Trey Young and Sengun, maybe Cat, Anthony Edwards, KD are like in that next category. But Giannis is in a league of his own today. I'm playing a ton of him. So I guess Smitty's playing a ton of him. So I think we just do it and hope he has a good game.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of the issue. Like I'm sick of playing Giannis, but there's really just no other spend ups.
Yeah, I'll try to talk about what else I'm doing in my non-Giannis lineups before the show ends. But we do have some other ideas. I mean, it's just OG's 8K. I love paying for OG today. No one wants to do it. I will. I mean, guys like Mikal Bridges. I don't think Okongwu is great against Milwaukee, but Jimmy Butler, Dyson Daniels. Like we have these mid-range guys to get to. You don't have to play Giannis. It just optimizers are going to jam him in. So maybe he's probably over-owned, but I'm not going to tell you to play less of him at all. And then we're expecting Ryan Rollins to start. KPJ will come off the bench. We're getting to a decent chunk of Ryan Rollins too. And then Kuzma, whatever you want to do with Kuzma is probably okay. He's elite by the model, actually. You probably want to play more Kuzma than the field. Atlanta side, we do like point guards against Milwaukee, but remember that Damian Lillard's not playing, so they're a little bit worse. But Trey Young still looks pretty good today. I'm getting a decent chunk of him. I'm a little bit worried about a Kongwu though, about against Milwaukee. I just really don't like playing centers against Brooke Lopez. Do you have anything on that?
Yeah, I agree. Just don't feel right because not only do you have Brooke, but you have Giannis there. Torian Prince is a good defender, so I don't know. I don't love it either. I'm getting to 8% right now, and I'm okay with that. But For me, it's mainly Trey Young here. I'm getting to a lot of Trey Young, and then Dyson Daniels. I think is a pretty good play on DraftKings and FanDuel. I'd probably get there on FanDuel as well. So it's mainly Trey and Dyson.
Yeah, actually, I'm getting those are the three I'm getting to. I'm still getting a chunk of a Kongwu. I hate the matchup. He's still one of my favorite GPP plays to get to, and I think the ownership is okay today. Brook Lopez doesn't play close to the rim, and so there's less rebounding opportunities, and he's a pretty good defensive player, so it is tougher for centers there. 4.5 point spread, 234.5 total though. We can't forget about a Kongwu. And then Vit Krejci started the last game and he went off. Is that something we're expecting again?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, why not?
If he ends up starting, so his minutes are kind of tethered to whether he's having a good game or not, too. He only played 26. He put up a really good fantasy score. What did we have him for? We have him for 22 minutes. He shows up as a solid play at 22 minutes. So at 1%, like these are the guys that we're mixing in to help us win tournaments. He's definitely in that category. And then we mentioned Ricochet and Niang every day. Model doesn't love Niang today, but it does love Ricochet. So I think that's the. I'm just going to let the model decide on that one for me and play a bit of Ricochet.
Yep. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Ricochet, and then I have a couple percent of Vit right now, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, I have. It looks like I'll be somewhere around 7% on Karis LeVert, Vit, Ricochet, and then Terrence Mann. I have 1% of right now. That probably goes away, but I'm okay getting to those other guys. If playing one lineup, you need to play Giannis. You don't have to, man. It's pretty great leverage. Like if Giannis has a bust game, I mean, you have to hit on the other studs. That's the hard part. Like you have to hit on whoever you play instead. But if Giannis does not have a good game in a single entry, he's like 70% of the field is just not competing for first. I can tell you that Giannis is definitely in my single entry right now, though, on both sites. Let's see. Next game, Toronto, Philadelphia. Toronto. Did Toronto bench everyone last game? They did, right? In the close game.
Yeah.
Yep. Quickly's out today. Barrett's out, right? Or is Barrett in? Oh no, Barrett's in. Pirtle's out. So Pirtle and Quickly are out. We got Barrett and Barnes in. I mean, the minutes, no one's projected over 30. Is there anyone you're looking at here?
I don't want to. We have a lot of salary, so I still don't hate taking a shot on Scotty, but it certainly don't feel good. And then Jacoby Walters is the only other one that I'm somewhat interested in. I think you could take shots on Orlando Robinson. That's pretty much it.
I did not notice how low Orlando Robinson's ownership was on DK. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
Assuming he's starting, like he probably doesn't really see more than 27 minutes most of the time, but that's a little bit too low of ownership for the spike game potential. I mean, Jamison Battle showing up as a strong value here, but we swore off him, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm not touching him.
There's other guys that we could just save $1,000 and go to. Could Jamison Battle? No, he can't. He's never even done it. Why is he showing up here? This is a lot of games. Like, all right, he did it once, and he's not pulling that much ownership. Like, if you get him in as the last guy in, it's probably not the worst. But the other guys I'm getting here that are also cheap, Jacoby Walter, I'm getting a few percent, and then I guess I'm getting a couple percent of Jamal Shed. I don't love that though. Anything else on Toronto?
No.
Oh, power. Levert was downgraded with a late illness. Thank you for letting me know. I missed that. I have Levert projected in and still getting that much Ricochet. 7%? It's not that much. Yeah, I mean, I want exposure to everybody. Yeah. Is Delon right in play? If he starts, yeah, but we kind of saw him get benched in the second half last time, so that was kind of weird. Philadelphia, other side of this game. Someone asked about Adam Bona yesterday. That was pretty sharp, man. Like I said, if you see someone beyond the model, even if we're not enthusiastic about him on the show, just play him. Any reason to play someone because Adam Bona is the best play on the slate today, according to the model. 8.8 OF index is kind of dumb. 19.5 DK value, 17 on FanDuel. He's only projected for 15 and 16%. I don't think I'd be surprised if he came in closer to 20, but I don't think other sites are really projecting him that well. And it's hard to say what his projection would be if we had traditional projections, but Adam Bona, Like he looks pretty great today, right? Off the bench too.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Someone I want to be over the field too.
It's just the model is giving us the okay, and he's low owned. And I mean, we've seen him doing. If we're box score watching, he's been fantastic. Let's see. Do you guys remember yesterday I mentioned that guy had 20K on Timmy to go over 20 and a half? It got to be the same guy because he had 20K up on Bona over 8.5 rebounds. And it's just, if he plays long enough to get 8.5 rebounds, he's probably on the court long enough to smash this price. So really like getting to Bona before the field does. It looks like we can still catch one more slate before everyone else catches on. What else on Philadelphia? I think we ignored Jared Butler last time, but he ended up having a good game, playing solid minutes. Model still likes him today, 14 and 30% ownership. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty into Jared Butler. Probably my other top play, I guess, from here. Good position eligibility. I think he's a really solid play. Someone I'm gonna try and get overweight to.
And then, so I just talked up Bona. We have Yabusele down here. His value score is really low. Do you just want to cross him out today?
Yeah, I'd be fine with it. He's questionable as well, so
Uh,
seems pretty bad.
yeah, I'm going to cross him out. Let's say Yabusele gets ruled out and Adam Bona gets the start. Are we just jamming?
Yeah, and then if we're already playing Adam Bona, we'll just be far ahead of the field. So I like it.
Yeah, for some reason, Yabu's reminding me of Trendon Watford right now. Model hated him. Like it seems like this is a spot where he should be a decent play, especially at the ownership. But Model told us Trendon Watford sucked yesterday. That guy put up like 11 total fantasy points. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think it's okay just to cross out Yabu today. What about the other guys on Philadelphia? I'm still looking at Justin Edwards. His price came up. His value scores aren't quite as good as they were last week, but under 10% ownership, he could be okay. More so on FanDuel. And then Ricky Council was still showing up a couple percent for me, too.
Yeah, when I pulled up the model, I fully expected him to see him on the top of value because he has been like for a couple weeks at some point. But yeah, I'm still fine getting to Justin Edwards. I think getting over the field on him is pretty smart. He's been getting a lot of touches. This game don't matter, so I think he's pretty good. And then I don't mind mixing in Ricky Council, maybe Lonnie Walker, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I was getting a couple percent of Lonnie Walker too, and I hate it, but I'm actually surprised he's been pulling 11 and 16%. I kind of feel like he might be forgotten, so I don't want to remove him from my player pool like I did Yabu. And then I didn't mention it, but Grimes is out. That's kind of why all these guys are showing up as still good value today. Last game on the slate, we'll knock this out. Houston at Phoenix. This game starts a little bit later than the rest. Did we have anyone on Phoenix that we were waiting on news or no?
Let me double check.
I don't think
No,
so.
Bradley Beal's out, but that's it.
Yeah, Beal's out for Phoenix, and then Tari Eason is out for Houston. I guess Reed Shepard's questionable, but we would only have him projected for a couple minutes anyway, so we shouldn't get any late news. So we should be good after that 4:30 game starts. Toronto and Philadelphia. Who are you looking at on Houston?
Man, my first thought was like this team's really underowned, but they're kind of priced effectively, so it's kind of hard. I think Amon's still pretty good, and then Sengun. We don't have a ton of pay ups. He's someone that can go for 60. This is a really good matchup for any of these guys. So I think getting to someone here is pretty good. It's just hard to pick who. I think Jabari with no Eason looks better, and then Jalen Green's priced up. I still don't hate getting a few percent there.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think they're all tournament plays. I mean, DraftKings, like you said, it's harder to get them, but I don't mind paying up, like overpaying a little bit to be contrarian. It's been working pretty well the last few slates, and so just take shots on the couple guys here. No one stands out by the model though on DK. Not even like Sengun. Sengun's fine, 11.90 OF index at the price, 11% ownership. These are fine value scores for his price. I don't know. Over on FanDuel, again, yeah, just Sengun. Fred Van Vliet looks fine. He's 2 and 3% owned now. He's back up to almost 7K. And I think he had one good game and everyone started playing him again. He hasn't had it again, but at 2 and 3%, who's to say he's not capable? Jalen Green's ownership seems fine. And Dylan Brooks, this actually seems kind of low to me, 4,800, given just the how the slate looks right now. I think that he's a pretty good piece to mix in there at 4,800.
Yeah, yeah. I was just looking at the FanDuel prices. I'd be playing a lot of Dylan Brooks, and I think Jalen Green's a really good play on FanDuel.
Yeah, just 10%, 7,600 for a guy who can spike a 50-point ceiling. I think that's
Yeah.
a guy that we want to play. Last team on the slate. Remember, guys, this FanDuel slate starts in about 25 minutes. We're going to get out of here in about 5. Jayhawks in the Discord. Instructions to join that are in the description below. If you want to get the model updates after the slate starts, remember you can sign up for the site, occupyfantasy.com. We have plans starting at as little as $7 a week. It's $1 a day. Gets you access to the plugs. Smitty's been crushing MLB. We got the model for all the sports we offer them for, and it's been crushed over at Occupy lately, man.
Yep.
But for Phoenix, I'm looking at, same deal that we've had like the last 10 games with Phoenix. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are GPP plays. I'm getting sprinkles of the rest. The model loves Colin Gillespie. What do you think about Phoenix?
Yeah, Booker's my favorite here, but I don't know. I'm kind of into Nick Richards, 4,700 on DraftKings, where you can play two centers. I think he's definitely in play. One where they're going to have someone pretty big out there to handle Sengun. So I'm pretty interested in getting over the field on Nick Richards. Other than that, I think it's all just, I mean, they're all GPP plays anyways, but I like getting over on Nick Richards.
I'm happy you said that because I feel like I'm catching some flack for saying I'm playing Nick Richards every day. I got to bump him up. I wasn't really getting any, but he's model approved center. Centers sucks today, so I think that's great.
Yep.
He's only 2 and 1% owned. You don't have to get a lot in your exposures to get over the field.
No, just play 6 to 8%, and I think it's pretty good.
Let's see. Cat or Sengun. I'm pretty sure for me, just the way that my exposures are going to play out, I'm going to have more Sengun just because I'm playing more of the other Knicks guys that are not Cat. But the model does have Sengun slightly over Cat in absolute OF index, DK value. Sengun has the edge, and FanDuel value. Sengun has the edge too, and the ownership edge on FanDuel. Levert's in for now. Okay. Maybe people are nervous to play him since he was sick. Like, I'm going to keep my exposure on him the same. Just hope that I stay right around 7%. Yep, Lonnie Walker. I think he's okay. I didn't touch him. If he shows up in some lineups, I'm okay with it. 7. I'm assuming that's Ricochet with Levert out. Should probably bump that up. I mean, seems okay. Just get sprinkles of these cheap guys and hope you hit, right? DFS buddy, you're the one that mentioned Bona. I hope that you played him. He had a pretty good game yesterday at low ownership. Simons is in. All right, let's talk about Portland, Smitty. Now that we have everyone in and nothing changed, we could have done this earlier. That's fine. We got Denny Avdia, one of the best players in the Western Conference, projected for 10% ownership at 8,100. I mentioned I'm playing a bunch of Knicks over on FanDuel. I'm happy to get to Denny. I'm a little confused why Anthony Simons is 25% owned. I know Scoot Henderson is out, but I guess he's only 6,400. What do you think about those two guys?
Seems a little aggressive, but I think he's okay to get to Simons. Denny, you're kind of paying up to be somewhat contrarian, but I think it's fine overall.
Man, someone over there really hates Denny Avdia.
Yeah, don't play Denny.
What else on the Portland are we looking at? How about the center situation? Donovan Clingan. He's been fine, 5,700. This ownership is too low. There's no Aiden still today. I think we should be taking shots on Clingan.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
He's not as good as we were hoping he'd be, but he's certainly worth more than 1%. There's like, I don't know, just the range of outcomes of him spiking the ceiling that we need. Shaden Sharp looks okay at 12%. Probably slightly under-owned, actually, since Scoot's out. Maybe Shaden doesn't play poorly today and gets to play a few extra minutes. Always down to get over on Kamara. I think that's about it from this team.
Yeah, I agree.
We talked about the Knicks already a little bit. I love OG. I love McHale. I like Josh Hart. And if Delon Wright starts, I'm going to go back. But keep in mind, this price is different from when he was min-priced on the last slate. And he did kind of get benched in the second half. Like first half, I think he had 20 fantasy points by halftime. And we're like, oh, man, we did it. We late swapped onto the guy. And he might have had another point in the second half, if that. And so just be careful, I'll say. But I still think he's a good play at 4,000 on FanDuel, 21% owned, even if the model's against it.
Yeah.
Anything on him versus Jared, or I was reading a comment, Tyler Kolek?
No, they're both okay. Kolek's more of a GPP play, but he's also a pretty good, decent real life player. So it's someone Tibbs trusts too. So
He's a better real life player than he is a DFS player, Tyler Kolek. And so I don't dislike the guy. I don't want to play him in DFS. He is a possible pivot though at 21 to 1% ownership, especially if Delon Wright's not starting. If Delon Wright's not starting, I'm just going to X him out because yeah, he could do it off the bench, but people are kind of expecting him to start, and he got benched last time when he was having a good game. So who knows? But I want to focus on these guys, and then I'll just mention Landry Shamet is pretty cheap too. I don't know that we have to get to him or Mitchell Robinson, but they're there.
Yeah.
Jared Roden. What team is Jared Roden on, Smitty?
The Raptors.
We haven't projected for less than 10 minutes. If that's a spot that you think he gets minutes today, though, that's fine. Play him. The model hasn't projected for less than 10 minutes, though, so just be prepared to take the risk that he doesn't play. All in on Lonnie, last man. Hey, good luck to you. I hope that works out. FVV for CVV because you're going to pay when you use him. Yeah, if I play him tonight, man, I might have to go down to McDonald's tomorrow. Missy was fine at center. He's like approved by the model. I guess we don't love center today. Was there any centers you loved today, Smitty?
No, just the Hornets guys
Yeah, the Hornets
and
guys and
Bona.
yeah, and Bona, man. Missy's fourth. Brooke Lopez is up here. It's a little uncomfortable with Giannis back, but at the ownership, we don't mind it. And then Orlando Robinson. Sochan has center eligibility on DraftKings. And like I said, we hate the matchup, but we like the player Okongwu. So these guys all seem fine. I would just kind of try to stick to these guys at the top of the model. Maybe mix in Sengun, Cat if you want. Denny or Sochan and spend up somewhere else. You have a quick answer for that, Smitty?
Um, I don't know. I think Sochan and spend up somewhere else.
That was my first instinct too. Yeah, it's a little bit weird though because I guess it depends on who you pay up for. But I mean, I'll point out Denny 9.9 OF index, Sochan 7.3, Sochan much better points per dollar play. So I mean, this is just too low of ownership. Assuming he's starting, I'm gonna go with Sochan. But Denny, like Sochan, doesn't have a 60-point ceiling. Denny has a 60-point ceiling.
Yep.
Banton season. Oh, forgot about Banton. Did you forget about him? You thinking about him? I just ignored him.
He's not on the DraftKings slate, so um, I don't know. Seems um, kind of hefty on FanDuel.
4,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had Scoot out in a bit. He probably plays the 17 and a half minutes we haven't projected for. If he stays at 1%, he's a guy we take shots on for sure, even if the model hates him. Kolek doesn't shoot enough. Yeah, like I think he's fine. Like especially with the team around him, he's got a lot of good players. He doesn't have to do much that generates stats. Bruce Brown, Gary Trent. Someone asked about the best combo to pair with Giannis on the Bucks. I guess we didn't really answer that. I don't have a good answer to that. I mean, Ryan Rollins 18.3 DK value. That would probably be the one best option. Brook Lopez and Kuzma are okay too. I'm not setting any kind of rules against it, but it is a little bit unintuitive to hand build that, I guess. You have an answer for this one though, Smitty, Bruce Brown, Gary Trent, or Ricochet?
Um, I don't know. That one's tough. They're so similar. I had the most of Gary Trent when I built.
I think Bruce Brown has the highest minute ceiling. Ricochet is not going to play over 30, and then Gary Trent is pretty unlikely to play over 30. But Bruce Brown's minutes aren't safe by any means. Model has Ricochet by a bit, and then Bruce Brown. And then where's Gary Trent compared to these guys? We'll get out of here in a minute, guys. Gary Trent. Gary Trent's way down here, so I'd go with those first. Bruce Brown or Ricochet. You can't see why Wright won't start because Tibbs hates him.
He only plays guys he trusts.
Yeah, he played. I mean, he started him last game, and then I think he still started the second half, but that was it. He never came back in again. Why did Krejci get more minutes? If Krejci starts, we like mixing him in. I have no idea why he played more minutes last time, but they started him. He played well, so they kept him on the court. Most amount of Rockets I'd have in one lineup on DK. I mean, I wouldn't want more than three. I don't know which three that would be, though. Are we for Colin Gillespie tonight? I'm probably never going to be for Colin Gillespie tonight because kind of same deal. Like he seems fine as a real life player, but for DFS, he's not the kind of guy we're looking for, even though the model likes him every day.
Yeah.
Smitty, you like stacking the Bucks and Hawks game?
Yeah. I think it's pretty good.
I
Between
think,
that and Charlotte Pelicans, that would be where most of my ownership is.
yeah, I think that's a good one too. And then, did we get news that Delon Wright was starting? Someone in the comments said Delon Wright starting. If he's starting, he's fine. Just be a little bit careful because he has a potential to get benched. Smitty, let's build a quick dummy and get out of here. I'm going to throw Adam Bona in there. I guess we'll put Giannis since why not? Who else are your top plays on DK?
Probably Nurk.
Yeah, we'll get Nurk in there. You cool with Nurk and Bona?
Yeah.
Did we want to get Oh man, my single entry is gross right now.
Uh,
KJ Simpson? Model wasn't into it.
yeah. I'm fine with that.
Let's throw KJ Simpson in there. He's 4,400. There's a couple other guys that are cheap, so you can mix and match. Did we want to get Sochan in here, assuming he starts?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sochan, if he starts, is going to be one of my top plays on the slate. Let's see who else we got over on DK. I'm getting a lot of Diabate. We can't fit him in this build, but you can mix and match him, Bona, Nurkic, Trae Young.
Yeah. He's one of my highest exposed. I like that.
Yeah, it's one of the studs I'm getting to, especially, yeah, that Milwaukee Atlanta stack leaves us 5,500 for two spots. It's really easy to fit in like Alvarado. I guess he's point guard only on DK, but
Jared Butler.
Jared Butler. I was going to say, I really like Jane Saloon again. I'm going to take shots on him. We can't fit him in this lineup, but we have 4,900 left for a small forward. It's not bad. Bruce Brown, Karis LeVert, move someone around. These guys are also options at center. Looks like we're going to be preferring the value centers today, except for Sengun, huh? Do one more refresh. We'll just sort by give you one last look at DK value. Bono went up. Ryan Rollins. This is assuming he starts. We have him for 29 minutes. I like him. 4,100 is a little bit incorrect. Yeah, I mean these guys are all plays. You could mix in Elf, Mike Conley. A lot of cheap options. I understand why Giannis is so highly owned today. But Smitty, anything you want to mention?
No. I think it's a pretty good slate.
Yeah, this actually seems kind of good now. Just wish FanDuel left that first game off. Will Kuzma hit
Mhm.
value? Probably not, but the model likes him. He could though. I don't mean to be like, don't play Kuzma. He's a good play today. And did we like McDaniels? I'm playing McDaniels almost every day. I guess we didn't mention him in Minnesota, but I think he's fine. More so on FanDuel. We're just hoping kind of for that stock ceiling. And then
Yep.
Robinson for center, Mitchell Robinson. I do think he's kind of thin, but all the centers are not great today. And so, like I said, if you have a guy you want to play, I think just go for it. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. Jayhawk's in the Discord right now. And good luck today. We'll see you tomorrow.